review. First of all, we're getting a later start than usual, so we want to apologize for that. And we hopefully we will be able to move through this agenda today fairly quickly. Everyone has been muted except for those the board members and others who will need to respond in the short term. But we do that for efficiency's sake and to reduce the prospect of background noise and other interference. And we'd ask everyone on today's hearing, if you would pay attention, we have quite a few cases that will be called and read into the record, matters that have been resolved, and it will be noted as moot or moot complied. Please call board's administration if you need an explanation as to what moot or moot complied means. But for today, please note that it means that your matter has been resolved and you're excused. You don't need to sit through the balance of the hearing. However, this is a public forum, so if you choose to sit through to the very end, you're welcome to do that. It's just that your matter has been addressed and has been resolved. But you have the number on your notice of board's administration, so call that number if you need some further explanation as to the terminology that's been used to resolve your matter. Thank you very much. The board itself and other panelists will introduce themselves to you, and after which I will hear from the city's law department regarding those matters that are moot complied, issues that are that there's an interest in continuing or otherwise resolved via settlement. Okay, again, I'm Kenneth Woodson, board chair.
Steve Pettit, board member.
Beverly Penn, board member.
Ken Washington, board member.
Cortez Patton, board member.
Ryan McSherry, board counsel.
Richard Wade, board administrator.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll hear now from the law department.
Good afternoon, Chairman Woodson. Jim Kelly on behalf of the city.
Afternoon, Mr. Kelly.
We have quite a few moot complieds here, so just stick with me.
Okay.
So first, number one, HA 2021-005 000545 5620 North 11th Street, moot complied.
Thank you.
Number two, HA 2021-000-556 4739 North Broad Street, moot complied.
Thank you.
Number three, HA 2021-000-557 4739 North Broad Street, moot complied.
Thank you.
Number four, HA 2021-00570 5246 North Carlisle Street, moot complied.
Thank you.
Number five, HA 2021-000-625 1833 Point Breeze Avenue, moot complied.
Thank you.
Number six, HA 2021-000-629 3631 Warren Street, moot complied.
Thank you.
Number seven, HA 2021-000-716 1111 to 1119 Spring Garden Street, moot complied.
Thank you.
Number eight, HA 2021-000-721 5246 North Carlisle Street, moot complied.
Thank you.
Number nine, HA 2021-000-723 7239 Montague Street, moot complied.
Thank you.
Number 10, HA 2021-000-764 4640 Umbria Street, moot complied.
Thank you.
Number 11, HA 2021-000-765 5220 Wayne Avenue, moot complied.
Thank you.
Number 12, HA 2021-000-771 3828 Patrician Drive, moot complied.
Thank you.
Number 13, HA 2021-000-780 1735 South Avondale Street, moot complied.
Thank you.
Number 14, which is HA 2021-000-782 30 Pelham Road, moot complied.
Thank you.
Number 15, HA 2021-000-794, 1930 South 22nd Street, move complied.
Thank you.
Number 16, HA 2021-000-830, Stenton Avenue and Washington Lane, move complied.
Thank you.
Number 17, HA 2021-000-845, 5916 North 13th Street, move complied.
you.
Number 18, HA 2021-000-880, 1210 North 42nd Street, move complied.
you.
Number 19, HA 2021-000-890, 500 to 506 Walnut Street, Unit 1002, move complied.
Thank you.
Number 20, HA 2021-000-897, 2235 Knapfel Avenue, move complied.
Thank you.
Number 21, HA 2021-000-898, 944 Belmont Avenue, move complied.
Thank you.
Number 22, HA 2021-000-900, 5666 Boyer Street, move complied.
Thank you.
Number 23, HA 2021-000-927, 12449 Barbary Road, move complied.
Thank you.
Number 24, HA 2021-000-946, 6301 Haverford Avenue, move complied.
Thank you.
Number 25, HA 2021-000-947, 1210 North 42nd Street, move complied.
Thank you.
Number 26, HA 2021-000-963, 1424 North 30th Street, move complied.
Thank you.
Number 27, HA 2021-001-051, 2113 East Dauphin Street, move complied.
Thank you.
Number 28, HA 2021-001-062, 4947 Hawthorne Street, move complied.
Thank you.
Number 29, HA 2021-001-136, 2845 Boudinot Street, move complied.
Thank you.
Number 30, HA 2021-001-151, 1908 East Cambria Street, move complied.
Thank you.
Number 31, HA 2021-001-152, 3150 Amber Street, move complied.
Thank you.
Number 32, HA 2021-001-153, 3544 Janney Street, move complied.
Thank you.
Number 33, HA 2021-001-154, 2076 East Birch Street, move complied.
Thank you.
Number 34, HA 2021-001-175, 5818 Chew Avenue, move complied.
Thank you.
Number 35, HA 2021-001-180, 3312 Amber Street, move complied.
Thank you very much.
Skipping down, I'm not sure what my colleagues in water have, but for L&I's cases at least, the next one would be number 43.
43, okay.
43, HA 2022-005-022, 300 North Columbus Boulevard, Samuel Andra. That's been an agreement for city affirm with a $300 fine.
$300 fine, okay. All right, we will then hold the board on HA-2022-005-022, 300 North Christopher Columbus Boulevard, Samuel Andra, city affirm a $300 fine per agreement between the parties.
City affirmed per the agreement with a $300 fine.
We affirm per agreement with $300 fine.
City affirmed per the $300 agreement $100 fine,
Yeah, $300 fine, just,
$300 fine.
all right, thank you.
City affirmed per agreement, $300 fine.
Thank you so much. Okay, next matter,
Next one is number 44, HA 2022-005033, 431 South 62nd Street, Quest Build and Design LLC. That's an agreement that's been sent to the board for a city affirm with a $500 fine.
okay. We will now poll the board regarding HA 2022-005033, 431 South 62nd Street, city affirm per agreement with $500 fine.
City affirm per the agreement with a $500 fine.
City affirmed per agreement with $500 fine.
City affirmed per agreement and a $500 fine.
City affirmed per agreement, $500 fine.
Thank you very much.
Next one is number 46, HA 2022-005140, 3701 North Broad Street, Alexander Pancheri, moot.
Moot, okay,
Yes.
all right, thank you.
Just to be clear, 47 will be going forward, but 46 is moot.
Okay,
Number 48 is the next one, HA 2022-005145, 300 North Christopher Columbus Boulevard. That's an agreement for a city affirm with a $300 fine.
okay, $300. Okay, we'll poll the board on HA 2022-005145, 300 North Christopher Columbus Boulevard, Melissa Caporelli. City affirm per agreement with a $300 fine.
City affirm per the agreement with a $300 fine.
City affirmed per agreement with $300 fine.
City affirmed per agreement, $300 fine.
City affirmed per agreement, $300 fine.
And the last one that I have is number 49, HA 2022-005148, 127 South 12th Street, Melissa Caporelli. That's an agreement for a city affirm, $300 fine.
$300, okay. We'll pull the board on HA 2022-005148, 127 South 12th Street, Melissa Caporelli, city firm per agreement with a $300 fine.
City affirm per the agreement with a $300 fine.
City affirmed per agreement, $300 fine.
City affirmed per agreement, $300 fine.
City affirmed per agreement, $300 fine.
Thank you so much.
That's all that I have. I think my colleagues might have others, though.
Okay, let's hear from the water department.
Good afternoon, Chairman Woodson.
Good afternoon.
Alexandra Athanasiadis on behalf of the Philadelphia Water Department.
Yes, ma'am.
If we could go to numbers 37 to 40.
Okay,
HA 2022-002093 is 37. 38 is HA 2022-004729. 39 is HA 2023-001624. And 40 is HA 2023-001625. On all these matters, Chairman Woodson, this would be a joint continuance request by the city and Crown Bakeries LLC. We've been in discussions to try to resolve these matters, and we just require some additional time. Counsel for Crown Bakeries is also on the call or in the hearing, and she can verify that we are working to resolve these matters and request a 60-day continuance to do so.
okay, and just for sake of the clarity, we're referencing 5698 Rising Sun Avenue, Crown Bakeries LLC.
Yes,
Okay, counsel for Crown Bakeries, please put your name on the record and just confirm the agreement. The request, rather.
Yes, Chairman, Diana Silva from the law firm of Mako Goldcatcher and Fox, and representing Crown Bakeries, and agree. I was the person who submitted the joint continuance request jointly with Alex.
Okay, all right, thank you. We
Yeah.
will note for the record, they will be continued.
Alex,
Thank you.
Ms. Silva, I won't put a date on these. I'll just hold them and you can be in contact with me for if these don't come to a resolution.
Yeah, that would be fine with me. Thank you.
Okay.
thanks, Richard.
Thank you. Do we have anything else from the Water Department?
Yes, Chairman Woodson, case number 50,
50, 50,
pardon me?
50?
Yes, 50. HA-2023-00116, 6006 Jefferson Street. The city is prepared to move forward on that matter.
Okay,
Case number 51, HA-2023-000135, 1529 Porter Street. The city is prepared to move forward on that matter. There may or may not be a standing issue on that matter, Chairman Woodson.
okay, well, let's deal with the standing matter now, because I don't want to have the person wait till the end and find out that we can't handle it.
Okay.
So, it's the noted appellant is Rita Miro. Is that individual present with us today?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, my name is Jeff Fraley, representing Rita Miro.
Okay, Mr. Fraley, what is your role in this matter?
I'm the property manager and son-in-law.
Okay, are you an attorney, sir?
Excuse me?
Are you an attorney?
No, I'm not.
Okay, is this property owned by an LLC or other corporate entity?
No, it's not.
Okay, do you have any kind of a legal authorization to represent the owner?
Not a formal power of attorney, but I was the
Okay.
one who submitted the appeals on behalf of Rita
Okay.
Miro.
Two things. You're gonna have, at the very least, you need to have a power of attorney, but
Yes.
very likely you may need an attorney to represent property, depending upon how it's owned and the circumstance.
Sure.
So I would advise you to speak with the city's law department, Ms. Alexandra Athanasiadis. But for today, unless there's an objection, we will have to continue this matter. Are there any life-threatening matter, public safety issues at hand, Ms. Athanasiadis?
There are not, Chairman Woodson.
Okay. Well, given that, we're going to continue this matter so that we can determine who will have standing to represent this appeal. Okay?
Sir, before we go,
Right.
I'm supposed to call Mrs. Athanasiadis?
Athanasiadis, yes.
Okay. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
And there's also a number on the appeal letter for board administration. But either way, you need to connect with the law department to determine what minimum requirements they will place in terms of either an attorney has to come and or a legal document allowing you to authorizing you to represent the interests of the owner.
Understood. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Thank you. Anything else in the water department?
Yes, and Mr. Fraley, I'll put my email address in the chat so you could reach out to me.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yes, Chairman Woodson, we have a matter number 52, HA-2023-000274, 1122 Rittner Street. That matter was withdrawn by the appellant.
Withdrawn? Okay.
And
you.
case number 53, HA-2023-000337, 1938 Hart Lane, that is moot complied.
You complied. Thank you.
And case number 54, the city is prepared to move forward on, that's HA-2023-000455, 1044 South Cleveland Street.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
No, that completes the water department's matters on the list.
Thank you. Does anyone else have anything for today before we proceed?
Yes, board members, good afternoon, Dejanay Davis on behalf of the city of Philadelphia.
Good
I would
afternoon.
like to turn the board's attention to case number 42 on the list.
42. Okay.
Appeal number HA 2022-005009. Mr. Wade had confirmed that there was a service issue with regards to this matter. So they requested a continuance and the city has no objection to that continuance due to
Okay.
the service.
Okay.
I also want to note that the appellant has been informed that they are required to be represented by counsel for these proceedings as they are in fact a corporation.
Okay. Thank you. So just note for the record that this matter is being continued. Thank you. Is that it, or do you have an additional matter?
Yes, and I also want to let the appellants know that they are free to leave if they don't have to.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
additionally, I also want to bring, I'm going to backtrack a little bit to number 41 on the list, as there is appeal number HA-2022-004985, address 1822 Spring Garden Street for Steve Burton. There is a possible timeliness issue as this appeal, the violation was issued on October 20th, 2022. The appeal was filed in December 9th of 2022.
12/9/2022.
Yes.
Okay. Alrighty. Is anyone present representing Mr. Steve Burton? 1822 Spring Garden Street. See us,
Yes.
yes.
I see a
Yes.
seat, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Burton, would you raise your right hand, sir? Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you give today be the truth so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Burton, what is your relationship to this property?
I'm doing work there. I'm the plumber on site there.
So,
And so
Mr.
this is is anyone here from AIU?
yes, and if I may briefly, Chairman, this is a licensing violation issue. And we have Jose Figueredo, who is prepared to testify today with regards to this matter, in addition to also providing some testimony with regards to what I anticipate Mr. Burton is going to say, a change of address issue as to why he did not receive the notice.
Okay, Mr. Burton, before we proceed, we do have this matter of timeliness. And so you're more than 30 days over the time period that allowed for an appeal. So would you care to explain why? What's the reason for the late appeal?
They sent, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, they sent the notice to my old address. It wasn't updated in the Eclipse. So I didn't get the response so late. As soon as I got it, I addressed it. I looked online and actually seen it, but it was sent to my old address. I got the notice. The notice was sent in October. I moved May. So that was a change of address, and then I
Mr.
updated.
Chair, if I may, there
Yes.
is an email here from Mr. Pincus that accepted his late appeal.
I'm sorry, what was that?
There was an email from Mr. Pincus in response to the late appeal accepting it.
Okay. Okay,
This was
apparently,
sent on December 24th.
okay, all right. What Mr. Wade is recounting, there was a request from Mr. Burton that the board agreed to hear his case. And although timeliness was noted, the person acting as chair at that time did agree to hear the case. And so your objection is noted, Ms. Davis, for the record, but we will proceed with hearing it today.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Britt. We'll call you in order. Thank you. Okay. Just one moment. Does anyone else have anything?
Mr. Chairman, Leonard Reuter for the city of Philadelphia.
Yes.
There was an add-on to the list, I believe it's number 55, HA-2022-003873 for 520 Queen Street. We
Yes.
have previously submitted a settlement with the appellant. Mr. Hank Clinton said I notified him that it was put on the list today. He had a conflict. He says he didn't get the notice from the board, but it's okay. I can forward an email to you from him that said he had no problem with proceeding since we have an agreement that was previously submitted to the board, which and we would ask that the board just simply mark the matter moot, not moot complied, but just moot per the settlement agreement.
Okay.
And
All right. So what we often do is if there are any significant issues such as fines or anything, we note those in the board's decision. Are there any such matters to be recounted in this?
In this matter, no, we think you can refer to the settlement agreement, which will explain it. There are certain violations that are in fact complied, and others that must be complied within a certain period of time.
Okay.
But
So what we will do then,
yes,
we'll just note it as moot per the agreement between the parties, okay?
that's what we would ask for. Thank you.
Okay, we'll poll the board on HA-2022-003873, 520 Queen Street. Gerald Boyce, City of, well, this matter is moot per agreement between the parties. And actually, given that it's moot, we don't need to vote on it.
Okay,
It's recorded as moot per agreement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, does anyone else have anything?
I believe Mr. Orphanides had a question regarding the moot complied for 111 to 19 Spring Garden.
Okay, who's handling that for the city?
It was my case, so I can explain.
Do you want to go in a breakout room with Mr. Orphanides?
Yeah,
No.
rather than put it on the record, I don't want to raise the record unless, because it's better for the two of you talk off the record.
If you want to put us in a breakout room, that's fine. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that. Then we
Okay.
can move on to the balance of the cases. Thank you.
great. Thank you very much.
Okay. Alrighty, if there's nothing else from anyone, we will now go to the list of remaining cases. And Mr. Wade, I rely on you to tell us where we should go next.
Okay, just give me one moment.
Okay, and actually 36, I'd like to hear that one later. I don't want to hear that one right now. We can skip over that one.
Okay, we're skipping 36. So
Yes.
that brings us to 41. We can recall Steve Burton. This is case 41, hearing appeal, HA 2022-004985, 1822 Spring Garden Street, Steve Burton.
Okay, thank you very much. Ms. Davis, I think this is your matter.
Yes, it is.
Mr. Burton, you're still on the oath. You were sworn previously. Ms. Davis, you have witnesses today?
Yes, today the city calls Jose Figueredo, please.
Okay, Mr. Figueredo, if you raise your right hand so that you may be sworn. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth so help you God?
I do.
All right, thank you. You can place your hand down. Ms. Davis, please proceed.
Good afternoon, Mr. Figueredo. Can you please introduce yourself to the board briefly?
Sure. My name is Jose Figueredo. I work with the Audits and Investigations Unit for the Department of Licenses and Inspections.
And how long have you been in this position?
I've been with the department a little over 6 years, and I've been with the Audits and Investigations Unit a little under a year.
Can you explain to board what some of your primary duties are in this role?
So I oversee the unit inspectors that go out and they perform license investigations.
And with regards to this matter, are you familiar with this matter in regards to the property 1822 Spring Garden Street?
I am.
And can you tell the board how you're familiar with this property and this issue?
So one of our inspectors was sent out to perform a random investigation at the site. And at that time, found that Steve Burton's insurance was expired.
And did you get opportunity to review the LNI documents and public records with regards to this matter?
Yes, I did.
And would you recognize some of those documents if I were to show you today?
Yes, ma'am.
Permission to share my screen?
Yes, ma'am. Please.
Mr. Figueredo, can you see my screen?
I can.
Okay. Let the record reflect that I'm showing Mr. Figueredo what has been previously marked as City's Exhibit C2. Do you recognize Exhibit C2?
I do.
And can you explain what this is?
That's a violation notice that's sent to the responsible party.
And can you tell us the date of this notice
Yes, October 20th, 2022.
and the name of the responsible party?
Stephen Burton.
Scrolling down to the violation that was cited, can you explain to the board why Mr. Burton received this violation?
At the time, his workman's compensation insurance on file was not up to date. Or there wasn't a record of it.
So just to clarify, as of October 20th, 2022, Mr. Burton had not had updated insurance as required.
That is correct.
Can you tell the board when in fact Mr. Burton did submit, if Mr. Burton submitted any insurance documents as required by the code?
Yes, a workman's compensation insurance document was uploaded on May 9th, 2023.
Okay. Sorry. So at this time, I'm showing Mr. Figueredo what has been previously marked as City's Exhibit C4. Mr. Figueredo, do you see my screen?
I do.
You recognize Exhibit C4?
Yes, ma'am.
And-
Ms. Davis, would you mind magnifying that a bit, please?
Oh, okay, yes, I'm gonna try.
Yeah, that helps. Thank you.
Okay. Can you tell the board what we are looking at here in Exhibit C4?
So that's a line item in the in Steve Burton's account showing when a document was uploaded. In this case, the workman's compensation insurance.
And just for a record, this highlighted portion, is that what you're referring to?
Yes, right under uploaded date. So May 9th, 2023 is when the document was actually uploaded.
Okay. And just for the record, this portion was highlighted just for purposes of this blur appeal. At this time, I'm showing Mr. Figueredo what has been marked as City's Exhibit C3. Do you recognize Exhibit C3?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell the board what we are looking at here?
That would be the insurance document that was provided through the Eclipse.
And is this insurance document, is this what's required of the Philadelphia Code?
Yes, ma'am.
And can you tell the board what the date of this document in this right corner says?
May 9th, 2023.
And just for clarification, can you explain what that May 9th date is to the best of your knowledge?
My understanding would be that that's when the document was provided by the insurance company or when it was printed out.
Okay. I'm going to stop sharing my screen at the moment. So I want to clarify the main issue here, Mr. Figueredo. The main issue is the fact that it's not the fact that Mr. Burton did not have insurance, correct?
That's correct.
And can you explain what is required of Mr. Burton with regards to not just having insurance?
So the code requires that insurance be maintained, but also that proof of insurance be provided to the department.
And at the time that this violation was issued, did Mr. Burton comply with the Philadelphia Code with regards to providing proof of insurance?
At the time of the investigation, there was no workman's comp on file.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Thank you. Mr. Burton, do you have any cross-examination or questions for Mr. Figueredo?
Cross-examination. I've had workman's comp.
I asked you if you have a question.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a question.
If you don't have a question, we can go on and you'll be able to present your understanding of the facts in a moment. But
Okay, no, I'm fine. No, I'm fine.
okay, thank you. Ms. Davis, do you have any further witness?
No, I do not, Chairman.
Okay, does anyone else have any questions of this particular witness? Mr. Figueredo, I do have one question for you, just for clarification's sake. The date of the NOV, notice of violation, was October 2022.
I believe the violation notice, I'd have to look at it again.
I think the date on it was October
20th, 2022.
Okay, so as I understand it, according to you and the records that you have, Mr. Burton did not have on file an updated insurance policy at that time.
That's correct. It wasn't on file at that time.
Do you know when the last recorded update was provided and if that document overlapped in terms of coverage? Meaning that did he have an old document on file that would give him 2 or 3 additional years for coverage? Do you know?
I do not recall seeing another document.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Just to clarify, Chairman, this issue is with regards to the workers' comp insurance that is required outside of the regular insurance that Mr. Burton.
Understood. Yeah, understood. I didn't know what, okay, we'll ask Mr. Burton. When you, do you plan or need to, Mr. Burton can give us his sense of things, or do you want to inquire of Mr. Burton, Ms. Davis?
No, Mr. Burton can state his position.
Okay, Mr. Burton, is your opportunity to share with us what you understand happened.
What I understand happened, I maintained my workman's comp, had the same policy. We have a difficult time with the Eclipse stuff, uploading the documents and just verifying it. With my address being changed, when they sent me out the notice, I would have addressed the issue. I address it automatically, but the Eclipse, sometimes the system it doesn't take the JPEG, or I have to physically go down there. It took me probably about 6 months for the Eclipse system to change my physical address. It's something with the system. I think I talked to the inspector that wrote me the violation. He changed my address for me because I called him. I reached out. I said, I don't know what's this ticket about. He says, this is what happens. I said, I cannot get them to change my address. You look in the system, my new address is in there. So it's an address issue with the system. He helped me actually spend an hour on the phone with me to help me fix it, to change my address.
Okay, what about this issue of the insurance? That's why you have a ticket.
Yeah, we have to maintain insurance. We have to maintain general liability and workman's comp or workman's comp waiver. I've maintained workman's comp for over 2 years. I still have proof of coverage when the ticket was issued. I have proof. I can provide proof of coverage.
Well, do you have it with you now to show us?
No, I'm
just going to object with relevance.
Okay.
The issue is not whether or not he was covered. The issue is that the document.
Okay, wait. Only one person at a time. And Ms. Davis, your objection is noted. Overruled, because I want to have Mr. Burton show me what he has as insurance. Mr. Burton,
Okay.
Show me do you have it? Did you submit it as proof?
No, I didn't know how to. This is my first time.
Okay,
I don't know
well,
how
see,
to. Yeah,
That's
I
not
don't-
going to help you. This is your appeal. If you're going to appeal something, you got to be prepared to appeal it properly. Or
Okay,
hire an attorney to represent you if you don't know how to do it.
I understand. I can email it or.
It won't do you any good right now. We need to have it in front of us now if you're going to present it.
Okay.
Does anyone else have any questions of Mr. Burton? Anyone else? Okay, now I would have other questions. Mr. Burton, how did you finally update the document? Did you do that? Did you upload the insurance document?
Upload it on the Eclipse. Yeah, I just got somebody emailed me a couple days ago about the insurance, and then I re-uploaded and uploaded again.
No. We're showing that it was uploaded
Okay.
in May of 20. Yeah, it was submitted 5/9/23. You did that yourself?
Yes.
Okay, why didn't you do it before then?
No, I did it before then.
Okay,
We have to maintain them every 6 months. We have to maintain them.
okay. All right. Ms. Davis, any questions?
Yes, Mr. Burton, you stated that you submitted insurance, that that you had difficulty submitting your documents for your insurance coverage, correct?
Yes.
Now, to be clear, you were able to submit insurance documentation December of 2022, correct?
December of 2022. That's when I found out about the ticket. I filed for the appeal.
Right, but my question is, you were able to submit insurance information with regards as required by the Philadelphia Code.
I go down to the MSB building. I go down there at the desk and I tell them to upload it because I'll be having a hard way to go. I'm always down there. I go down there, let them physically upload it, and I ask them, is everything okay?
So that's a yes, you were able to upload insurance documents December of 2022.
Yes.
Okay, no further questions.
Well, I'm not sure I understand, Ms. Davis. The violation was 10.
Yes,
October
stated that
22,
he
right?
was having complications, and if I may, I will share my screen again,
Yes, please.
Chairman.
Yes.
So here is proof that he was able to submit his documentations as required by the Philadelphia Code. And so
Okay.
that is the reasoning, if you needed clarification, not
Okay.
in particular with regards to the violation itself, but the testimony and that he was having difficulties with Eclipse.
Okay, so the December 7th entry, there was a form application. There's no description as to what type of insurance that was, but that was an upload of some sort, correct?
That is an upload of some sort, but that was not the required insurance that was not the insurance that he was cited for.
Okay, that's why I'm asking. Okay.
Yes,
Okay, and so the insurance that that satisfies the violation
was the
is
workers'
one-
comp insurance.
and that's one that's noted May 9th.
Yes, and as you can see, the policy number right here,
Okay,
where it says WC for workers' comp and the policy number, which I won't read out.
okay, and so there's no record of a workers' comp document being uploaded prior to that date.
That is correct.
Okay, Mr. Burton, any reason why you didn't take your workers' comp document down and get it uploaded?
I thought I did. I thought I had. I've had it. I thought I did. I always take my stuff down there because I always have a problem scanning it, uploading it with the Eclipse stuff. If
Okay.
I have a problem, I'll go down there on many occasions. I've had the
Yeah.
same workman's comp for about 2 years. Before that, I had another one.
Okay, well, we're just looking at the record, so that's the
Right.
issue.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mr.
anyone else?
Chair, I have a question.
Yes, sir, please.
Ms. Davis,
Yes,
good afternoon.
good afternoon.
I'm just trying to understand the document you put up on the screen. Is that showing that each and every one of them is workman comp? Because of the heading is workman's compensation?
No, and in fact, Mr. Figueredo will probably be better equipped to explain what describe what those entries are, but there are various entries for various requirements that Mr.
Yeah,
Burton has to keep up with.
Would you bring that back up, please? So that may be helpful for the
Yes.
discussion. You'll need to magnify it a bit, of course.
Yes. Give me 1 second, is it?
All right, just that's fine. My question is, up in the upper left-hand corner, it says workman compensation. And then it just had proof of insurance going down. So each and every one of them is proof of insurance of workman compensation?
No, and if I could, I'll show you another example as to,
Well, actually, Miss Davis, could you recall Mr. Figueredo?
yes, Mr.
Because he may be able
Figueredo,
to go
yes,
through
that
it.
would be
Yeah.
great. Mr. Figueredo, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So, can you explain to the board what these various entries essentially mean with regards to Mr. Burton's insurance?
Sure. So without looking at each and every one, because there are multiple documents that can be uploaded from OSHA card approved to the insurance that are required by contractors being general liability, automobile, and workers' comp. So with some of them, without looking directly at the document, it could be difficult to tell which is which. Yeah.
Okay, but Mr. Washington's question, though, I just want to, because I'm with you on the question, Mr. Washington. I'm agreeing, I'm understanding you. If you go to, please don't move it anywhere. You keep it steady. Where it says that head of that column that says policy number, Mr. Figueredo, right there.
Yes.
If you scroll down and to the last two items in that column, they both begin with WC.
Correct.
Okay, does that suggest that those are workman's comp policies?
Yes, those are actually the policies referred to earlier that were uploaded May 9th, 2023.
Okay, so on May 9th, 2023, someone, and if you go to the left, indicates that someone from the city of Philadelphia, I guess from the city, uploaded those documents, not Mr. Burton himself.
That's quite possible.
Okay, and so on May 9th, someone potentially, as Mr. Burton has testified, at LNI uploaded the 2020 policy that was effective October 10th, 2020, and then another policy effective October 10th, 2022. Am I reading that correctly?
Yes, you are, Mr. Chair.
And both of those were workers' comp policies.
I know for sure the one is, I'd have to look at the other one to,
Yes, if I can provide some clarifying information. This second entry, Chairman, was entered because the effective dates were incorrect. I can also show you the policy with regards to the highlighted portion to show that the dates were from October 10th, 2022, not October 10th, 2020. So
you're saying that the one above the October 10th, 2020 is this?
It's the same policy, but the dates were incorrect entered.
Oh, okay. It's the same policy. It's not two different policies. It's the same policy.
Yes.
Okay. Now, before you leave that, I don't see any other references to workers' comp policies on this screen. Can you scroll up to the top, please? Slowly.
This is the top.
Is that all of Mr. Burton's record?
That is correct.
So prior to 2022, how was he didn't have a record in Eclipse?
No, Chairman. Well, Mr. Figueroa, can you please?
is that directed at me or?
Yeah, Mr. Figueroa, yeah, I guess that if you're most familiar with it.
No, I couldn't find any record. The December upload is only proof of general liability insurance.
Yeah, you didn't answer the question I asked.
Oh, I'm sorry. Could you repeat it?
The question I asked is that if the top of the column is a date, the earliest one I see is June 10th, 2022. Are there any other entries prior to June 10th, 2022 in Mr. Burton's Eclipse file?
There are entries August 5th, 2021, but they're not insurance documents.
Okay, and so, so essentially 2021, he doesn't have any entries in Eclipse prior to 2021.
Just to clarify, Chairman, there are some dates here for 2021.
I said prior to.
Oh, prior to
2021.
No, I do not see anything prior to 2021.
Okay.
I just got my license in 2021. I just got my license.
Okay, Mr. Berry, but you have to not speak out of turn.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay. All right. So that answers, Mr. Washington, I think we may be on the same page here. Did that clarify?
I'm just a little confused with the heading stating workman compensation. So reading down, I would have to assume, because of the heading workman compensation, that those are proof of insurance for workman's compensation. Not only that, with there being a mistake on this here document that states that effective date is October the 10th, 2020. And I just was told, no, that's a mistake. That's just a duplicate one, because the policy numbers can always remain the same. In any one of your policies, the numbers doesn't change. So because there's a mistake on this form, what is the testimony on? I don't understand. You see, I was told that this is a mistake. October the 10th, 2020. It was submitted to this board that this information on there.
Okay.
So I still don't understand with the heading up top saying workman's compensation. Then I'm told, oh, that's not what that means. That means all this other stuff is under here.
Okay, just 1 minute, Mr. Washington. I just got a request, Mr. Wade. Just for a moment. I just want to pause the hearing just for a moment.
I'm taking care of it.
Okay, that's not related to anybody who's this current matter, correct?
I don't believe so. I'm gonna bring them in the breakout room and discuss it.
Okay, thank you. My apologies, everyone. We just got an odd request via chat. That didn't make any sense. So Mr. Wade's going to work on it. Ms. Washington?
Yes. So I'm just explain that to me about the documents that you're submitted is telling me that the information on those documents is incorrect. Why should I think all the rest of them is?
I'm not really sure as to when you're saying the document is correct. But
Put the document back up again. Put it up again, Ms. Davis.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Okay. And I believe what Mr. Washington was raising the issue about is that your statement, Ms. Davis, was that the second from the last, second from the bottom entry is a mistake. And it's not accurately reflecting what happened.
Yes, and if I may, earlier and through Mr. Figueredo's testimony, we showed the actual insurance policy on the screen with the actual effective dates in question, which are the exact dates of this highlighted line here. And you can also see that the date, the timestamp is a very short time in between each one. So I was saying in terms of it being incorrect, that the effective date didn't accurately reflect the actual effective date of the insurance policy that you all saw today.
Okay. And so, Ms. Washington, I think what she's suggesting is that the entry at 10:03 is a mistake. That's what you're saying, Ms. Davis?
That is correct.
Okay. Would you show us the policy with the effective dates of the policy again?
Absolutely.
Okay, now what are show us where the effective dates, when is the policy, period? Okay, that's from 10/10/22 to 10/3, or 10/10/23. Okay. Ms. Washington, does that get closer to answering your question?
It gets closer, but what, she just go up to the top? I want to see what the top of that says. Okay, what is 5/9/23? I withdraw that.
Okay.
Can I say something?
No, not yet, Mr. Burton.
Okay.
That's it. Okay. All right, thank you. Ms. Davis, if you, never mind.
Can I just ask one last final question of
Sure.
Mr. Figueredo, please?
Yes.
Mr. Figueredo, upon your inspection of all the records and documentations with regards to Mr. Burton, to your knowledge, and based upon the facts presented today, did Mr. Burton have the required worker commons insurance as required by the Philadelphia Code at the time the violation was cited in October 2020?
No, after reviewing all the documents, the only one I could find was when it was uploaded May 9th, 2023 for
And-
workers' compensation.
And May 9th, that was about 2 days ago, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Burton, do you have any additional information for us that would be helpful?
Yeah, I have a 10/6, I have a insurance from I have a document from 10/6/22. I issued a cert through Workman's Comp for another job. How can I show you that, or how do I get it to you? I have it on my.
Mr. Burton, you have to understand that this is just like court. You have to submit your evidence before you come to the hearing. Okay?
Yeah.
So if you have this experience again, prepare for it as if you were going to come and please court on a serious criminal matter. You have to have all your stuff in advance so that we can freely share it back and forth.
I
That's how this works. Okay? But any other questions for Mr. Burton or for Mr. Figueredo?
I have a question for Mr. Burton.
Yes.
Mr. Burton, looking at the certificate of insurance, which was prepared on May 9th of 2023, is that the date that you purchased the insurance? You made your payment?
No,
May 9th?
no. I've had insurance policy for almost 2 years. I have it in front of my screen. I just didn't know to print it out. This is my first time with a hearing like this, but I've had the policy for almost 2 years.
Okay, so is it your testimony that your insurance carrier made an error in submitting that certificate on May 9th, in preparing that certificate on May 9th, 2023, and presumably backdating it to cover you in October of 2022?
No, the city emailed me and to say that your insurance is expired. I said, okay. I went and I got a certificate and I uploaded and I took it down there to make sure that they get it, because The Eclipse, sometimes I'm having a hard time with the Eclipse. I'm a little older, JPEG, file, all these different files. We're having a hard time with the Eclipse system. So I try to upload it, then I go take it down there. Then I email the girl from the city that emailed and asked me, is everything okay? And she emailed and said, everything's fine. I always email them and ask them, is everything okay?
What day did you go down to licenses and inspections to do
I
this?
was down at LNI yesterday. I was down at LNI. I go down there at least twice a week. I have to go to the water department. So I at least go down to LNI at least twice a week.
Thank you. I don't have any other questions.
Okay, thank you. What I'd like to do is have the board convene in the breakout room for about 3 minutes.
If,
Ms. Davis, anything else before we do that?
yeah, if I may, just a brief argument,
Okay,
board members. As a reminder, the issue before the board today is not whether or not Mr. Burton had insurance. Mr. Burton was not cited for not having insurance, but he was in fact cited for not providing that insurance information to the Department of License and Inspection as required. Though Mr. Burton has stated that the issues with Eclipse, he has also just stated that he visits the department at least twice a week. Also demonstrating his due diligence and his ability to upload the assurance as required. As you all saw with regards to the exhibits presented before you all, he's been able to upload his required insurance onto Eclipse before. He is aware that he must provide this information to the department. And for that, we will be asking that you vote city affirm.
thank you very much. The board will take a short recess into breakout room. We'll be back in about 4 minutes. Thank you very much. Thank you. We've heard the testimony as well as various information submitted by the appellant and counsel for the city of Philadelphia regarding HA-2022-004985, 1822 Spring Garden Street. Steve Burton. We will call the vote. City affirmed.
City affirmed.
City affirmed.
City affirmed.
City affirmed.
City affirmed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Burton. Based on a unanimous vote of city affirmed, you've lost your appeal. You may appeal our decision and check if you need information as to how to do that. Call the board administration. They can give you information that you would need to appeal that decision. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much, sir. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you, Chairman. That concludes my business for the day. May I be
Thank you. Absolutely. Have a good afternoon. Your witness may also be excused.
Yes.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
may I be excused for the next case?
Yes, sir.
I will be back.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Okay. But Mr. Washington, just before you
Go ahead, I'm here.
before you sign off, I just want to check something. I got to count heads for a minute here. We're good. We're good.
Okay, no, I'm not signing off. I'm just taking a break.
Understood.
All right, thank you.
Okay. What's our next matter?
Mr. Cohen was had a breakout session for case number 47. I'll let him speak.
Okay.
Actually, I'll defer to Mr. Kiefel, who is counsel for Mr. Alexander Pancari. This is matter number 47, HA 2022-005141.
Okay. And
Yes, thank you, board. This is Attorney John Kiefel. As a result of the breakout session, I have a request for a continuance of the matter as a result of the discussions with Attorney Cohen to pursue hopefully amicable resolution of the matter.
Okay. Mr. Kiefel, I don't know if you've been noted on, you've submitted your appearance or not. Isn't that noted on our record?
Right. I have not submitted my appearance. I'm new to the matter, Your Honor, respectfully to the board, and I will get the appearance in there so I'm documented properly in the case.
Okay, thank you.
And
Mr.
the
Cohen?
city has no objection to this request. It's my understanding this is the first listing of this case before the board.
Okay, please note that HA-2022-005141-3701 North Broad Street is continued. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Attorney
Kiefer.
Cohen. Thank you so much.
Oh, I actually would like to note for the board, number 36, this is the matter involving Craig Geyer. I did see that Mr. Haber, attorney for Mr. Geyer, is currently out. He had a conflict between 2:30 and 3:30, I believe he said, but the city's witness needs to leave by 4 to pick up his children. So just bringing that to the board's attention.
Okay, what we will do is pass on this for the moment. We go to the next matter.
Thank
And if just be prepared to have a plan B. I'm not sure what that would be, depending on, because I'm not certain how complex this matter is. But we may need to postpone it to a different date, but we'll see. Okay, Mr. Wade, what do we have next?
Brings us to case 45. Hearing appeal number HA 2022-005056, 123 South 12th Street, Apache Industrial United Incorporated.
Okay, who's representing the city?
Good afternoon, members of the board. Jeffrey Cohen, I'll be representing the city.
Okay, who's representing the appellant?
Mark Howell. Attorney for Apache Industrial United Inc.
Okay, Mr. Howell, are you an attorney?
Yes, Chairman.
Okay, there's a problem with your audio. It's coming in as an echo of something happening. I'm not sure what it is.
I can try to modify the microphone on my end.
Okay,
If I speak up, is it any better?
slightly better. And maybe you have you have fancy earplugs or something, or headphones?
I do not. I switched my microphone. Is it better now?
Yeah, that's a little better. Yeah,
Very
thank
good.
you.
Fantastic.
Okay. Preliminarily, Mr. Howell, will you have any witnesses?
No.
Okay, Mr. Cohen, will you have any witnesses?
Yes, the city will call Jose Figueredo, supervisor at the AIU Audits and Investigations Unit.
Okay, all right, Mr. Figueredo, would you sign in, please? Unmute yourself and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you give today be true to help you God?
I do.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Howell, not sure you participated in this process before with us. So what we will do, Mr. Cohen will begin by putting on his case with his witness. You, of course, will have an opportunity to cross-examine that witness, after which you can make argument yourself and or put a witness on. However, you cannot testify. You need a witness to testify. So I'm not sure how you present that, but that's how we will approach it. And at the end of all argument, the board will call it a matter for a vote. Understood?
Understood.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Mr. Cohen, let's proceed.
Thank you. Supervisor Figueredo, if you could briefly tell us how long you've worked for L&I and in what capacity?
I've worked with licenses and inspections for over 6 years. At the present time, a little under a year, I've been with the Audits and Investigations Unit. Previously, I've worked as a plans examiner and as a building inspector.
And if I could please share my screen, members of the board.
Yes.
Supervisor Figueredo, can you see the screen that I'm currently sharing?
Yes, I can.
All right, let's scroll down to the first exhibit, exhibit labeled C1 on page 2 of the packet. If you could just briefly tell us what this and this is on page 5 of the packet.
These are license documents showing that the contractor has a license.
And now we're going down to page 8 on the packet, which has been pre-labeled as exhibit C2. I would note for the record that all of the markings, the highlighting is mine. They do not exist in the original document. Could you please tell us, Supervisor, what this document is?
So this is an insurance document provided by the insurance company showing the different coverages that the contractor has, Apache Industrial Services.
And what type of insurances is a contractor required to have by law in Philadelphia?
General liability insurance, automobile insurance, and workers' compensation insurance.
And just for the record, are those the highlighted insurances down here at the bottom? Commercial liability, automobile liability, workers' compensation, and employer's liability?
Yes, they are.
And I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. What is the policy expiration date for all three of these policies?
November 1st, 2021.
And just for the record, what is the date on the top of this certificate?
April 23rd, 2021.
Now I'm going to scroll down to the next page, page 9, which is Exhibit C3 in the packet. What is this document?
Similar to insurance documents showing the coverages.
And when was this document issued?
It looks like
Sorry, there we go.
Yeah, July 22, 2022.
So does that mean that there was a gap between, and I'll scroll up to page 8, this November 1st of 2021, the expiration of the policies, and this July 22nd, 2022, the issuance of this new certificate?
Yes, according to those dates, yes.
Approximately like, I think, an 8 or 9 month gap?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to scroll down now to this page, page 10 in the packet. What is this that I'm showing on screen?
So this would be a screenshot from Eclipse showing the different documents that are uploaded to the contractor's account.
And
Well, Mr.
specifically,
Cohen, would you modify that a bit, please? Make it a bit more readable? Thank you.
sorry, is that better?
Like
I
that,
realize
thank
the text is very small and I apologize.
you. Okay.
Supervisor, can you tell me what are the 3 types of documents that were uploaded that are highlighted on this screen?
General liability, motor vehicle, and workers' compensation insurance.
And moving slightly to the right in the document, what is the date that they were uploaded?
July 22nd, 2022.
The same date that the certificate was created.
Correct.
All right, well, going now to page 11 in the packet, what is this document that I have on screen?
This is a notice of a commercial building permit being issued
For what property?
for 123 South 12th Street,
And what was the date that this permit was issued?
October 18th, 2021.
And we're going down now to, please excuse me, to page 14 in the packet. What is this document?
This is an inspection report.
Is it under the same permit for the same property?
Yes, it is.
What's the date on this document?
That is February 22nd, 2022.
And what did the inspector see, the inspector who created this document and who performed this inspection, what did he see and did he note in this report?
So at this inspection, he was, looks like the footers and the foundation was the inspection being made that day. No inspection request made prior to concrete placement.
And this is the initial site inspection, correct?
It could have been, sometimes there's one prior to this. I'd have to look at the notes though to see if there was, but this is typically one of the first inspections performed.
And basically this means, or an initial site inspection is typically performed before work commences in order to allow the contractor to commence work, correct?
Right. Contractors are required to contact the department and basically tell the inspector that they're starting work, which they're required to do.
And now scrolling down to page 15, what is this document that I have on screen?
This is also an inspection report.
Same permit, same property?
Yes.
And what's the date on this?
March 23rd, 2022.
And what was the result of this inspection?
Let's see. It looks like it was a site and safety and neighborhood. It looks like it was probably a routine, just check, maybe in response to concerns. I'm not entirely sure, but basically giving an okay to continue work.
Well, was this another initial site inspection that passed?
Yes.
So these dates on these 2 pages, 14 and 15, so it's February 22nd of 2022 and March 23rd of 2022. Do those both fall within that gap when the insurances for Apache were expired?
Yes. Yes, where there were no documents on file.
Thank you. Moving down to page 16, what is this email that I've got currently on screen?
Let me see it. So this is typically when there's an investigation, we send out a notice, and that's one of these where one of our analysts sent out a request for information.
And was this sent to the general contractor for the same permit at 123 South 12th Street?
Yes, to Clemens Construction Company Incorporated.
And I'm scrolling down now to, sorry, to page 17 in the packet. What is this email that we're showing?
This is a response from Christina Pontoski from Clemens Construction.
So the general contractor was responding.
Right, and more than likely provided this subcontractor information.
See, you know exactly where I'm going with this. I'm going to scroll down now to page 19 in the packet, and I will zoom in.
Thank you
but
very much.
before I do, what is this document that I have on screen?
It looks like the list of subcontractors provided by the general contractor.
Is this a form that L&I typically provides to the contractor to get filled out and sent back?
Yeah, sometimes they have an Excel file that they'll share, or we provide this document that they can fill in and send back to us.
And was this the document that Clemens Construction sent back for 123 South 12th Street?
Yes, it is.
All right, now I'm going to zoom in. Who was the OH protection platform subcontractor at this site?
Apache was.
And well, what does OH protection platform mean, for the record?
Overhead protection platforms. It's basically like when it's protection for walkways. Yeah, to put it plainly.
And is this the same license number that's in Exhibit C1? And if you need, I can scroll back up to Exhibit C1.
Yeah,
Yes, not a problem. Sorry, this is, and I'll zoom out a little. This is Exhibit C1.
056. Yes, that's same number, same license.
I apologize. I know we're jumping around in the packet. Here we go. And on what date did this subcontractor commence work on the project?
July 6, 2021.
And then there were those two inspection reports from February and March of 2022, correct?
Correct.
So this means that they started when they had insurance that lapsed then on November 1st of 2021, and then it continued through the two inspections that are noted in Exhibits C6 and C7, correct?
Correct.
And now I'm just going to, for the board's information, I've included as Exhibit C11 a contractor's or the Philadelphia Code 9104, the code pertaining to contractors and their licensing requirements. And I would just point out for the record, Section 91045, all contractors licensed under this section shall maintain at minimum the following types of insurance, which is what Supervisor Figueredo mentioned earlier: workers' comp, general liability, motor vehicle liability. And then C, the failure to maintain proper insurance and to provide proof of coverage may result in revocation or non-renewal of a license, may result in a punitive measure being taken. Now moving down to page 26 in the packet. What is this document?
This is a notice of violation.
And who is this notice of violation issued to?
Apache Industrial United Incorporated.
And is the cited license number over here on the left, is that the same license number for Apache as above?
Yes, it is.
And what's the date of this notice?
November 18th, 2022.
And specifically, what were they cited for violating?
For operating with expired life insurance, or not on file.
Thank you very much. And just the city records that I've shown you today, are all of those records that L&I keeps in the ordinary course of its business?
Yes, it is.
And are those records that it is the responsibility of an L&I employee during the course of their duties to enter the information that goes into them?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that question?
I will repeat it. I'll try and make it a bit simpler. For all of the records that I showed today, is the information that goes into those records entered by an L&I employee in the course of their duties?
Yes, it is.
Thank you very, very much, Supervisor. I would present him for cross, and Mr. Howell, if you need, I can keep the exhibits packet on screen.
That's okay. Thank you. I will ask a number of questions. With permission, I'll share my screen.
Yeah, please proceed. Yes.
Let me. So the document that I'm sharing, if you could confirm the
Yes, we can see it.
Rolling. Okay, very good. So this is the same document that was just offered, Mr. Figueroa. My apologies. Can you please pronounce your name? I don't want to call you by the wrong. Sorry, one more time, please.
Figueredo.
Figueredo. Okay. Mr. Figueredo, you testified that the date that is highlighted by council, the 4/23/2021, that's when coverage started?
The date up there, I believe that's the date when the document is generated.
Okay, so I agree with you. The policy effective date that's listed,
November 1st, 2020.
okay, running through November 1st of 2021, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and if we scroll on to the other document that was part of this evidentiary package, so the certificate of insurance that's dated here, you would agree is July 22nd, 2022?
Yes.
And the effective date of the policies
November 1st, 2021.
through November 1st, 2022. Did I read that correctly?
That's correct.
Okay. So if I understand correctly, the city's contention is that this coverage wasn't in force at the time that this contract was being performed?
I would object to that question. Mr. Figueredo is an L&I supervisor, not a legal expert.
No, my apologies. Your testimony, I believe, was that that we did not have appropriate insurance at the time that the project was being performed.
During the time that Apache was working, we did not have insurance on file from Apache.
Okay. Do you know what days these were put on file?
What the documents you have there?
Yes.
I believe the document there was placed in the date that's on there. I'd have to check to confirm that.
Okay. And you believe that these 4/23/2021 date is also the date that was on file?
Possible. I wouldn't know off the top of my head.
Okay. Do you know what dates Apache was working on the project?
They were working between. No, that I'd have to check. I don't have that information in front of me.
Okay. Let's scroll into a few other items. Reference was made. Let me get the right document up here. Reference was made to this document a moment ago regarding footers and foundations installed and no inspections made prior to concrete placement. Do you recall that?
Yes.
To the best of your knowledge, was Apache involved in those activities as part of its scope of work?
I wouldn't know.
Okay. Is there anything on this document that indicates that there was a violation by Apache?
On this document, no.
Okay. Moving on. This next document, the safety and neighborhood consideration discussed, okay to continue, that was referenced. Is there anything on this document that indicates that it involved Apache?
No, it's just an inspection report.
Okay. And just to recap, so the documents that have been offered into evidence as far as the certificates of insurance demonstrate that there was coverage at a minimum for the period of 11/1/2022 through 11/1/2021, and then subsequently 11/1/2021 through 11/1/2022.
Yes, that's what they show.
Okay. No further questions for this witness.
Okay, thank you.
Just a little bit of follow-up, members of the board.
Yes.
Those two inspection reports dated February and March of 2022. Those were issued to the general contractor, correct?
That's correct.
And it would be out of the ordinary for a subcontractor to receive an inspection report, right?
Right. Subcontractors don't receive any inspection reports.
But it does stand to reason that if this specific subcontractor was responsible for overhead protection. So long as there was work going on at the site, they would be responsible for maintaining the protection of the workers who are currently at the site, right?
Yeah, within whatever their job scope is, sure.
All right, thank you very much, Supervisor.
Anything else, Mr. Khan?
Oh, anything else from me?
No, Mr. Cohen, do you have any?
That's what I
Oh,
thought.
no,
I wa-
thank
wanted
you.
to correct this understanding.
Before you get to Mr. Howell, Mr. Cohen, I would like to see that list of uploaded documents.
Of
the
course.
Eclipse page.
One moment, just pulling that back up on screen, and I will make it larger.
Okay,
So here we have the highlighted proof of insurance, the one that Supervisor Figueredo discussed is uploaded on July 22nd of 2022. That is the same date of the issuance of the certificate of insurance, July 22nd, 2022. These ones down here were actually uploaded June 8th of 2021, which is, I think, about a month and a half after the April 2021 certificate of insurance was obtained. So there is a gap between the 2021 certificate of insurance issuance and upload, but there is no gap, or gap of maybe a couple hours for the July 2022 certificate issuance and upload.
and the period of time that we're concerned about is what?
November 1st of 2021 through July 22nd of 2022. That's our gap. And that's when the old insurance that was uploaded in 2021 expired, and new files weren't uploaded, and L&I didn't have proof of insurance until July 22nd of 2022.
Okay, and so between 11/21, so that coverage period that was testified to earlier, that shows coverage between 11/21 and 11/22, L&I did not have record of those. of that
That's
coverage.
correct.
Okay, all right, thank you. Anyone else have any questions? Okay, Mr. Howell, do you have any, is your opportunity now? I don't believe Mr. Cohen has any further witnesses. Mr. Howell, I'm not sure how you want to proceed with representing your client's interest.
Yes, as the city's offered no evidence that we were performing work at the job site beyond the expiration of the initial certificate of insurance, we actually moved that this matter be dismissed.
Okay, Mr. Howell, you don't have anyone present as a witness, so we have to rely on the documents in terms of whether or not they were properly uploaded as required by code. So
Right.
do you have any evidence or information regarding that, Matt?
No, sir. In fact, we were not at the job site. And
City would
Otherwise-
object to this as
Yes.
this is testimony from
yes, let me rephrase.
from an attorney
Okay.
who's not entered.
Okay,
Who's-
please.
As the city's not offered any evidence that we were performing work at the job site beyond the expiration of the first certificate of insurance, of which there's no question by the city's witnesses' testimony was uploaded and was in place the entirety at the time that we started the job, and they've offered no evidence of when we left the job. There's insufficient evidence to hold this fine as valid, and we moved to dismiss it.
Okay, let's do this. I'd like to-
Actually, the city would have some closing on that.
Yes, that's what I'm getting to.
Oh, thank you.
What we will do in this instance, as we always do, we'll have closing arguments by the appellant. In this instance, Mr. Howell, unless you have some additional information to offer, I would accept what you just said as your closing, and then ask Mr. Cohen to close. We will then take a quick recess in the breakout room to have a deliberation, then we'll come back. So, Mr. Howell, do you have any additional information to add to your close?
The only thing I would add is that at all times that this project was being performed, and as evidenced by the city's own records, the certificate of insurance was on file. There is no question about whether there was a gap in coverage as established by the city's expert, and the city hasn't met its burden for showing any violation while a project was being performed.
Thank you. Mr. Cohen?
Thank you. I actually want to first start by saying that this is not about a gap in coverage. This is about the records. The law does require not only that there needs to be constant insurance, continuing insurance for a contractor that's performing work. We also need to have the records. And we have proven there was a gap between when the records expired, the last insurance expired November 1st, 2021, and July of 2022. That's an 8 or 9 month gap. That's not a simple mistake. And during that time, we've also shown that there was work that was ongoing at this work site at 123 South 12th Street. Now, Mr. Howell has brought no witnesses forward, has produced no evidence saying that that Apache was not working during that period, or was working only up to, but not beyond, November 1st of 2021. And here's why that's important. Because as the board well knows, the standard here is that the city is entitled to a presumption of municipal propriety, and the burden is on the appellant. So the city doesn't bear the burden of proof here. What the city has shown, regardless of the burden of proof, is that there was work going on at that time, that it stands to reason that Apache was there because obviously you would need overhead protection while workers are on site, and that there was work going on in February and March of 2022. That's during that 8 or 9 month insurance gap. Now, you are familiar, I hope, with the Venango Township case, Falkenberg v. Venango Township. That lineage of that case dates back to the 1920s. And essentially it says the burden is on the appellant. The burden is on the accuser, essentially, to prove that the city did something irregular or that the city is wrong. There's been no presentation of evidence, no witnesses to say the city is wrong. In fact, the only witness today is the city's, who has proven the city's case. So where there is an absence of any evidence on the appellant side, and where the city has proven sufficiently that there was work going on during an insurance gap, that should be sufficient for a city affirmed decision. There was activity going on during that 8 or 9 month gap when Apache was not properly insured or did not show proof of insurance as required by the code to LNI. Therefore, this should be a city affirmed decision. Thank you very much, members of the board.
Thank you. I would invite the board to join me for a few moments. We're going to go off the record and we'll be back within 3 or 4 minutes. Okay, I don't see Mr. Cohen.
Oh, I'm here.
Okay,
Thank
Mr.
you,
Howell. is
Mr. Board
present
Chair.
as well. Okay. All right, thank you very much. Having heard the witnesses as well as the evidence submitted by both parties, the city and the appellant, we will now call the vote on HA-2022-005056, 123 South 12th Street, Apache Industrial United Incorporated, City affirmed.
City affirmed.
City affirmed.
Okay, I think I need to have those two plates.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Tennant.
City affirmed.
City affirmed.
Okay, thank you. We have one final vote. Mr.
City
Howell.
affirmed.
Thank you very much. City affirmed. Unanimous vote, city affirmed. Mr. Howell, of course, you can appeal our decision. Thank you very much for your participation and your patience with us. Have a good afternoon.
You too.
Okay. Have a good afternoon. Okay. Wade, what do
Mr.
we-
Chairman, I'm sorry, if before you proceed to the next case, I would just like to briefly revisit case number 41, as I inadvertently forgot to ask for my exhibits to be moved into evidence.
Oh, okay. The evidence, do you have, would you give the list again, please? So for the record?
Yes, the case number 41, appeal number HA-2022-004985, 822 Spring Garden Street, Steve Burton.
Identify your.
Yes, so the city will just be asking for exhibits C2, C3, and C4 to be moved into evidence.
Okay, so move.
Thank you.
And actually, my colleague reminded me, thank you very much, Dejanay. The city would also like to move its exhibits in number 45 into evidence, just the whole packet.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So moved. Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Wade, what do we have next?
Number 50, hearing appeal number HA 2023-000116, 6006 Jefferson Street, Wendy Blunt.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair.
Yes,
I want
sir.
to make it known that I'm back.
Okay, Ms. Washington is back with us on the record. Thank you, sir. Ready? Who's representing the city or this matter?
Good afternoon, Chairman Woodson, Alexandra Athanasiadis on behalf of the City of Philadelphia, and my
Okay.
witness also on screen, Mr. Jason Locke.
Okay, Mr. Locke, would you raise your right hand so that you may be sworn? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth so help you God?
I do.
All right, thank you. You can place your hand down. Okay, Ms. Blount, is there Miss Wendy Blount?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Ms. Blount, would you raise your right hand so that you may be sworn? Do you
Yes.
swear or affirm the testimony that you give today be the truth so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. You can place your hand down. Ms. Blount, before we proceed, though, I just wanted to check, the property on Jefferson Avenue, 6006 Jefferson Avenue, what is your relationship to that property?
I am the owner and I'm sorry, it's Jefferson Street, just to clarify.
Okay, Jefferson Street. Is anyone else on the deed with you?
No, I'm the only owner.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. Okay, the city will begin in putting on its witnesses, after which, Ms. Blount, you may put on your witness or tell us what you understand to be the facts, okay?
Yes.
Okay, and I'd ask if you could just keep your device focused on your full face so we can see your mouth. when you're
Okay.
speaking.
All right.
That's perfect, right
Okay.
there is perfect. All right,
Thank
very
you.
much. Okay, let's proceed with the city.
Good afternoon. On December 6th, the Philadelphia Water Department went out to 6006 West Jefferson Street in order to shut off service for failure to schedule an appointment to service the meter and or the radio device attached to the meter. While on site, it was determined that the property did not have an accessible and operable shutoff valve, violating Philadelphia Code Section 13-502. At that time, a notice of defect was issued. The property owner, Ms. Blount, subsequently appealed the notice. A meter appointment has been scheduled and the meter issue has been resolved. However, the operable shutoff valve remains inaccessible and thus violating the city code section referenced earlier. As of the most recent date of reinspection, which was yesterday, May 10th, 2023, the defective curb stop remains. In other words, there is no operable valve. And the city would call Mr. Jason Locke regarding this matter.
Thank you.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Mr. Locke. Can you please state and spell your name for the record?
Jason Locke, Jason Lock.
And by whom are you employed?
Philadelphia Water Department, Delinquency and Restorations Unit.
My apologies. And what is your title?
Field Customer Service Supervisor.
Okay. And what are your responsibilities as the field customer service supervisor?
Duties are supervising FSR crews, field service reps on inspections and shutoffs. Also, we're doing meter work.
And are you familiar with the address of 306 West Jefferson Street?
Yes.
Okay. And how are you familiar with that address?
We have multiple jobs we were there for to install the meter, dating back to December 6, 2022, sorry. There's a notice of defect issued there. February 7th of 2023, there was a notice of defect there. And most recently, we went back out just to make an inspection and the violation still stands.
And you were the person that performed that inspection, correct?
Yes.
I'm going to share my screen, with you, sir. Give me 1 second. Do you see my screen, Mr. Law?
Not yet.
No.
Check that. Still nothing?
Not yet.
No.
Now we have it. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And now, Mr. Law, can you please tell the board what we're looking at here?
Me, you said? This is, excuse me?
Yes, you. Can you please tell the board what document we're looking at here?
Yeah, this is works, Service Link Works. This is the highlighted jobs are when we attempted to come out to the property
Okay.
on the right-hand side. And as you can see, December 6th, 2002, that was a notice of defect. February 7th, 2023, notice of defect. And the most recent one was 2/16/2023, and that's when the meter was installed.
And just to clarify, it was December 6, 2022, correct?
Yes,
And why was this notice of defect issued?
no access to the property to install a meter.
Okay, but that actually eventually happened. The meter was installed, correct?
Yes,
Okay, so there was a notice of defect issued for failing to have an accessible and operable shut-off valve. Is that correct?
yes.
Okay, I'll show you a document. And do you see what I'm showing you, Mr. Locke?
Yes,
And I'll represent to you, this was submitted by Ms. Blount as a document she received from the Philadelphia Water Department. And document, does it state that on December 6, 2022, the Water Department attempted to shut off service at 6006 Jefferson Street?
yes,
And that was the same information you previously testified about on that service works request?
yes, I did.
Okay. And in the same notice letter, it indicates what section of the Philadelphia Code is violated for not having access to an operable shut-off valve. Is that correct?
Yes.
And why is it important to have access to that shut-off?
It's important to the customer in case there's any kind of breaks inside. Water has to be shut off for any kind of repairs.
Okay. And if the water isn't shut off, could that potentially cause flooding?
Yes,
Because any other issues with the customer's property and or any type of city service?
neighboring. Yeah, neighboring properties also.
And you went out and inspected the property as well, correct?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and what date was that, Mr. Locke?
That was 5/9/2023.
On my screen with you once again. And do you see the photo that I'm showing you?
Yes,
Is this a photo you took
Yes.
outside 6 Jefferson Street?
yes, I did.
Okay, and is this photo a fair and accurate representation of what the sidewalk looked like outside 6006 Jefferson Street?
Yes, it does.
And do you see my cursor at the bottom of the page, sir?
Yes,
And is that where the curb stop would be located?
yes,
Okay, and did you look inside that curb stop when you did your inspection?
yes.
And what did you observe inside this curb stop lot?
There's an obstruction, sort of like concrete in there.
I'm sorry, there was an obstruction?
Yeah, it could be concrete. Was not able to remove it.
Okay. So as of 5/9/2023, that valve remains inoperable, correct?
Yes,
Okay. And whose responsibility is it to maintain a clear and accessible valve box?
the homeowner.
I have no further questions of Mr. Locke at this time.
Okay, Ms. Blount, do you have any questions of Mr. Locke based on his testimony?
I would really like clarity because when I had my hearing earlier this year,
You had
I
a
was
hearing,
told-
wait, you had a hearing.
I
earlier-
apologize. I had a hearing to dispute the water bill because this property at Court on
Okay. Wait, Ms.
under-
Blount. Ms.
Sorry,
Blount,
yes,
Ms. Blount,
yes.
did you have that hearing before the Illinois Review Board?
No, I did not. I was
Okay,
in front
so-
of Ms. I'm sorry.
That's not related to this. So what I'm going to ask you though, at this time, if you have a question of Mr. Locke based on his testimony, you have any questions? If you don't, that's okay, because you can tell us your side of things in a moment, okay?
Well, yes, I do have a question.
Yes.
If, even though I am the homeowner, I was not aware that there was any blockage by me being out of this property for 2 years, if I say for the record. And you stated in the testimony that some kind of concrete or something is down there. I would not know any of that if somebody did that intentionally. I understand you saying it's my responsibility.
But what is your question though,
But my
Mr. Locke?
question is, me being a homeowner, how can I prove something that I didn't know about? I didn't know that.
Okay,
there
that's
was
your question. Let
kind
him
of
respond.
blockage. I'm sorry.
You've asked him a
I'm
question,
sorry.
Mr. Locke. Is there any response
Yes.
that you would have?
Yeah, we gave a notice of defect on February 7th, 2023 that stated that there was a violation to your curb stop. And for you, you would have to hire a plumber.
Okay, thank you. That's his response. Any additional questions, Ms. Blount? Then after which you can tell us your side of things.
Okay, so just to clarify, so I have to get a plumber to correct something outside that somebody else may have done to my property, is what you're saying.
I'm going to object to the characterization for Mr. Locke's testimony.
Okay, so noted. The objection, though, I think I'll overrule it because I think what she's asking is, Mr. Locke, as a homeowner, and is she as a homeowner responsible for maintaining the curb stop?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think that's what she was asking. Is that what you were trying to ask, Ms. Blount?
Yes, and more so if it was somebody else that did something to my property.
Now, you understand that if it's your property, you're responsible, regardless of who does whatever they do, it's your property. Understood, correct?
No, I know I'm clear about it right now, but no, I did not,
Okay.
not aware of that being the case,
Okay.
because I had no idea
Okay.
of the extent until he just explained it, what's going on with the curb stop.
Okay, Ms. Athanasiadis, do you have any additional witnesses or anything?
Not having any additional witnesses, Chairman Whitson, if I just may briefly, I have a redirect question for Mr. Locke.
Yes.
Okay, yes.
Mr. Locke, you referenced the additional notice of defect, correct? That was left for Ms. Blount for February 7th, 2023, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and do you see my screen?
Yes, I see it.
And is this the notice you're referencing that has the service address of 6006 Jefferson Street?
Yes.
And in the middle of the page, it checks off other where it indicates cement,
Mm-hmm.
and
True.
there's next to curb stop obstructed, is that correct?
Yes.
And this application document also advises the timeframe for what to have repairs done and to notify a company.
Okay, wait a minute. We're getting some feedback from someone. I'm not sure where it's coming from. So if anyone who's not currently active in this matter before us, please mute yourself.
Mr. Chair, I believe it's in Mr. Locke's background.
Okay. Mr. Locke, if you have ability to ask your colleagues, I assume you'll go to keep quiet down a bit.
Okay. Yeah, he's got to keep down a little, please. Sorry about that.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Ms. Athanasiadis, would you proceed, please?
Yes. So, Mr. Locke, you would agree with me the information as to what is required and whose responsibility to repair is located on the plumbing defect?
Yes.
And that's the same information provided in the letter that was received by Ms. Blount, to which I previously showed you that was attached to her appeal.
Yes.
I have no-
Okay.
May I speak?
Well, just for a moment, just for a moment. Ms.
Okay.
Blount.
The job that you already got, I can't send it right back.
Okay, someone's voice is coming through loud and clear. So Mr. Locke, if you would mute yourself, maybe that's in your area. Thank you. Ms. Blount, now would you mind sharing with us your understanding of the facts?
All right, now I'll state it again for the record. When I've been calling the water department about this matter, it was more so regarding the bill. They sent me a bill for almost nearly $2,000. And when I got this letter, I thought it was all pertaining to the bill that I needed to appeal. So I had what I'm on this appeal hearing today for. I apologize if I sound like this is confusing to me, because I was told I had to send a fire report, and I did send that to a Miss Fitzgerald for further review of the bill. I had no idea this is a hearing in addition for the outside problem that is a part of this case today.
Okay.
So I don't know what I need to do further because of the fact that, okay, there's an issue that is being said regarding this outside line, but okay, I'm also being billed for nearly $2,000, and I'm disabled. I'm on one income, and I'm trying to do. I'm sorry. I'm a stroke victim, and all of this that's happening, I can't take it no more. I didn't know, even with everything that was coming, they kept saying I was in violation for not getting the thing installed. And I got that. I had the people come out October the 15th. And that's when I got notice that, hey, they're doing an upgrade of the water department, that little part or something. I did everything. I had to get work done to even get that installed, just to be in compliance. So I'm thinking, okay, got a $2,000 water bill. I went down to City Hall.
Okay, Miss Blount, let's do this. Let's do this. Miss Blount, just take a moment. Okay. We'll take a moment so that you can calm yourself. So let me ask you a couple questions, Miss Blount. Hopefully that will help sort of sort the issues out a little bit, okay? Let me know when you're ready to continue.
Yeah, I just want this over.
Okay.
I'm just for the record. I don't have that kind of money.
Okay, but there's an opportunity. There are resources that may be available to you to help you in this. Understood? Okay. So let's back up a little bit so you don't get overwhelmed with the information we're talking about. So let me ask you a couple of things. How long have you owned a house?
Many years, since 1999.
Okay. Now I know you said that you've been out of the house for a while and came back. So how long have you actually lived there?
The fire happened January the 6th, 2020. I came back in the property October of 2021.
Okay.
It was vacant prior to that.
Okay, so property was vacant for a considerable period of time. Okay. Now, when you received the notices from the water department, did you understand that what they were talking about? What the notices were
I
talking
would
about?
call and they said I was not in compliance.
No, I'm saying I'm asking a different question. Listen, what I'm asking, the written notices that you got.
No, because they kept telling me that reason why the result of whatever notice they were saying, I was upset because they were sending those notices and trying to shut my service off because they didn't have that new gauge in, whatever that thing that they needed to install. I've got supervisors I've spoken to.
Okay.
Everybody I've tried to get, I did not want to be out of compliance with anything.
Understood.
But everything was coming back to that new thing that had to get installed. They were saying, oh, they couldn't come out to install, and I was not being compliant with installing the new gauge. And I said, they came out October the 15th.
Chairman Woodson, that's issue's been rectified, so.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting to. Yeah, well, I'm not focused on that. And so, Ms. Blount,
Yes.
what I want you to understand is that that's not why you submitted an appeal to us over the issue of the shut-off valve on the sidewalk. That's what we're talking about today. We aren't talking about all the other stuff.
And then I'm confused because the last
You
thing that I
submitted,
had,
listen to me, listen to me. You submitted the appeal, correct?
for the water bill.
No. You submitted an appeal to us regarding the violation for the outside valve. Did you do that or somebody else do that?
I was, you know what, I'm so confused because the water bill they sent me is what I was arguing about.
Okay, so we
They
are
were
here.
sending violations to me that I was appealing because of the fact that they made it like I was not in compliance.
But we are not here today about the water bill. This is something completely different. That's what I want. Do you have anyone who's helping you with this?
Nobody. I'm by myself doing it all.
Have you gotten in touch with any of the agencies that are available, like the Philadelphia Senior Center or your city council person?
When they first told me,
No, Ms. Blount,
no,
listen to
I
me.
did try to go to, and I did go to my local politician and spoke with them there.
And they did help you?
No, they was like, no, there was nothing I could do. They didn't feel like they was gonna help me either.
Did you talk to anyone? Did you talk to anyone in the senior centers or anything?
No, I just went to my local, because at first the water department told me to go to, and I'm not trying to switch around. I'm only going by what I was told, that I had to go to my local fire station. I did everything that was told of me to do.
Okay, what we're going to suggest, and because this matter will have to be addressed, but we also want to give you time that you need to take the action that's required, given that you've had a serious illness. It's obvious that you've attempted to make heads or tails of this, and there's been some issues here. So I'm going to suggest to my colleagues that we continue this matter for at least 3 months to give her an opportunity to get some support from a local senior agencies that can help her negotiate the system. She needs someone who can help her to explain all these issues because they're complicated. And she needs someone to help her to do that.
Mr. Chairman, if I
Yes,
might.
yes, please.
Ms. Blount, I don't know if you are familiar with the Philadelphia Housing Development Corporation. Do you need to take a glass of water or something in order to relax?
I'm just tired. You just don't know. I've lost so much due to my health.
Okay, so we're trying.
I'm just tired now.
Okay, Ms. Blount. Ms. Blount.
Do this anymore.
Ms. Blount.
Yes.
I think it would be helpful if you took a moment, maybe to get a glass of water to refresh yourself. But if you feel you don't need that, I'm going to ask you if you would just please listen to what I'm going to offer you, which is to suggest that you contact the Philadelphia Housing Development Corporation, if you have not done that already, because they have a program called Basic Systems Repair. And that program can assist you with a plumbing issue because that's considered a basic systems. Now, they can make adjustments because of income issues and the like. And I'm not 100% certain that they can do the curb trap repair, but they could certainly guide you to how you can get that work done. And the other office that you might want to call is the, and I think Mr. McSherry can help me with this, but there is a senior legal center. Senior, you know what I'm talking about, Ryan?
Yes, I'm trying to get the exact name for you.
Right. Legal Senior Services, and they can give you some additional support to help you with parsing or understanding the paperwork that you've received, because sometimes the paperwork can be confusing.
The name of the organization, Ms. Blount, is the Senior Law Center.
Senior Law Center. Do you have the telephone number there, Ryan?
Yes, let me just see if I can.
Ms. Blount, do you have a way to write this down?
Yes, I'm writing down everything.
Okay, I'm just going to the website of the organization now to get a phone number for you to call. Okay, the telephone number is 215-988-1244.
You have that, Ms. Blount?
Yes, I do.
Okay, we're going to continue this matter for 90 days at least. Give you a chance to talk to them, talk to other program providers. When you come back, you have great understanding of what you need to do, okay?
May I ask, who do I contact regarding the bill? That's what I thought this hearing was for.
I don't have any information on that. Ms. Athanasiadis, do you have any information regarding this bill matter?
Ms. Fitzgerald, she's the one I've been dealing with.
Well, I'm asking the lawyer for the water department to give us some information.
Chairman Woodson, I believe Ms. Blount is conflating, I believe that would be the Water Revenue Bureau. And if she had an appeal filed, that would be before the Tax Review Board pertaining to her bill.
Okay, and so the the law center would be good for both those issues. So Ms. Blount, talk to them about both issues, okay?
And Ms. Blount, additionally, on your notice of defect, there is a number for the help loan program that you can contact. That was on the February notice of defect that you received. So there is a number you can call there to assist you possibly with getting the repairs done. But that's strictly for repair work, ma'am. That has nothing to do with your bill.
Okay. But we're going to note for the record, this matter is being continued for at least 90 days. All right, thank you very much.
Thank
Ms.
you.
Blount, have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
What do we have another matter?
Chairman Woodson, I also have case number 54 on the list.
54, okay.
3-000455 1044 South Cleveland Street.
Okay, we'll call that matter.
Case number 54, hearing appeal number HA 2023-000455, 1044 South Cleveland, Timothy Hanna.
Is there Timothy Hanna present? Timothy Hanna.
Service was made.
Okay. Ms. Athanasiadis, what is your pleasure?
Chairman Woodson, the city would like a city affirmed for non-appearance.
Okay, what time do we have, Mr. Pettit?
3:41 p.m.
3:41 p.m. Okay. All righty, we'll poll the board regarding HA-2023-000455 1044 South Cleveland Street, Timothy Hanna. City affirmed non-appearance.
City affirmed non-appearance.
City affirm non-appearance.
City affirmed for non-appearance.
City affirmed non-appearance.
City affirmed non-appearance.
Thank you very much. That matter is resolved.
Thank you, Chairman Woodson. That completes my list. May I be excused? And may I excuse my witness, Mr. Locke?
Yes, ma'am. You may be excused. Mr. Locke, you may be excused as well. Have a good afternoon. Okay, Mr. Wade, what do we have left?
The last case that we didn't, was bring back to case 36.
Okay, are all the parties present?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yes,
We
members
need
of
to
the
call it
board.
in, Mr. Cohen, before we have any conversation.
Okay.
Case number 36, hearing appeal number HA 2022-002082, 5053 Ogons Avenue, Geyer Construction LLC.
Okay, Mr. Cohen, I know you have an issue with your witness, correct?
Yes, I was about to say, Jeffrey Cohen for the city of Philadelphia in this matter. Our witness will have to leave before he'll be able to complete his testimony, and certainly before Mr. Haber would be able to cross-examine him. So unfortunately, we can't get to the merits with that witness today.
Okay,
That said, there is an issue of timeliness that we could address, and then we could bifurcate and potentially do a second hearing on the merits if the board requires.
okay. So let's do that. Mr. Haber, would you mind putting your name on the record, please?
Sure, Marvin Haber for Geyer Construction LLC.
Okay, Mr. Haber, unfortunately, your title on the screen shows DePaul LLC.
Oh, it's
Is that a
Haber
different
DePaul.
co-
That's I'm at the firm, Chairman. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I'm using official company equipment.
okay, all right. Just wanted to make sure that you didn't have a different contractor as a client. That's all.
Well, you know, I could change it. Sometimes the other courts or other tribunals ask me to change it. I'm happy to do that for you.
If you wouldn't mind, just so it isn't confusing to anyone. But in the meantime, are you comfortable with Mr. Cohen suggesting that we bifurcate and deal with this timeliness matter before we reset? the
Yeah,
hearing?
well, I appreciated the court indulging me by giving me my continuance, because as you know, I had a 2:30 hearing
Yes,
and I didn't want to, I couldn't miss it. I was unable to have it continued. So I will be happy to accommodate Mr. Cohen in same fashion.
okay, thank you. So let's do that then. Let's limit our conversation and testimony at this moment to the issue of timeliness.
Sure.
And after that, we will reset. If there's an additional hearing to be had, we reset it. Okay? And so I will be open to hearing from both parties. Mr. Cohen, would you want to start?
Thank you, members of the board.
Okay.
The timeliness issue is actually simple and ironically should not take up much of our time. The license violation notice was sent out and was dated March 30th of 2022. The 30-day date to appeal that notice would have been, or was, April 29th of 2022. That date was a Friday. The appeal paperwork is stamped received on May 2nd of 2022, which is the Monday after. So even though it, I believe, is 3 days technically untimely, it's technically the next business day, but still the next business day after the appeal due date is still untimely under the law. And the city would ask that it be dismissed as untimely. Thank you.
Okay. All right,
I'll
Mr.
respond.
Haber?
Yes, I'll respond. City Exhibit, page 7. If Mr. Cohen can put that up.
Yes, one
It's
moment.
it's my April 28th letter. The notice may have been dated March 30th, sir. But as I state on April 28th, 2022, which was a year ago, that as counsel for Geyer Construction, we received a notice dated 3/30/2022 on April 7th, 2022 at my client's Delaware County address, and we are timely appealing this violation notice at this time. Prior to today, Mr. Cohen did not raise the timeliness issue, even though my client was present at the last continued hearing. If you look at it, the date is set April 28th, 2022. Now, I don't know who opens the mail in the city, and I'm not indicating that there was anything untoward here at all. But if it was stamped on the 2nd, who was opening the mail on the 2nd at 1401 JFK? I'm not saying we need testimony of that, but if you're going to give somebody 30 days notice, you should give them the full 30 days. And when we received this on the 7th, we got together and we had to respond and get some information. If you look at the appeal for variance, and we're not going to discuss it on the merits, we had three reasons as to the appeal. So and I know the board has great leeway in this, I don't see how there is bad faith or intent or any way to prejudice the city of Philadelphia. On the other hand, they did not send the notice certified, and they sent it to my client's home, actually, not even his office. So he wasn't there. We got it on the 7th. And that's the,
Well,
and that's the
to,
bottom
to
line.
be clear, the city isn't alleging any bad faith or anything of the kind. The failure to file a timely appeal is just a technical matter. But it is a technical matter that is jurisdictional, which one of the reasons why it's a 30-day period, because again, if there's a delay in transmission, as it appears there was here, from March 30th to April 7th, that still provided a couple of weeks in which to send a timely appeal to the board's administration, the address at 1401 JFK.
Okay, all right.
And of course, again, the city is not saying anything, alleging any bad faith. The city would point out that the reason why this wasn't raised at the earlier hearing in March, one is because, I believe because Mr. Haber wasn't there, there was a continuance so that he could be present, so we didn't reach anything at the March hearing. And also, I wasn't there. I didn't handle this case at the March hearing, and I am bringing up the issue now while the parties and council are present.
And
Thank you.
that's fair enough, Chairman.
Okay.
But
I think we've heard the, we've heard the arguments for both. Are there any questions from anyone on the board?
No.
Okay, if there aren't any questions, then we will consider this, the timeliness issue to be appropriately responded to and handled and addressed. So there's no, within the board's discretion, we're going to hear this matter.
Thank
We
you.
will reset it for a date in the future. Mr. Cohen, Mr. Haber, please collaborate with board's administration to set a new date for this hearing. Understood? So today, the record should note that it's continued.
Thank you, members of the board.
Okay,
well, thank you, board members. We appreciate your time.
Yep.
May we be excused, and
Yes,
I'll
sir.
contact Mr. Cohen, and we'll get a date that's mutually convenient for all the parties.
yes, sir.
And would we be communicating with Mr. Wade of board's
Yes.
administration? Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much. Is there anything else, Mr. Wade?
No.
Okay, if the board could join me in breakout session, I think we're done with our public hearing for today. Everyone have a good evening.